Hello, good day. So for today, we're going to discuss the topic under structural theory, no? So the topic is load distribution. So basically, first thing we need to do is, or we need to understand is, why do we need to study load distribution? So bakit ba natin to pinag-aralan? What's the use of this? Kasi basically, as an engineer, no? So you should be able to understand why each of the topic is taught to you. So ngayon, tuturo ko sa inyo kung bakit mahalaga pag-aralan ang load distribution. So sa load distribution kasi class, we have two ways, no, to understand it. So number one is yung one-way distribution ng loading, and then number two is yung two-way distribution ng loading. So ano nga ba yun? So we all know that each of us is nakapatong sa slab, especially if it is suspended slab. Ang meaning ng suspended slab, nakalutang, no? So ngayon, kunyari, nandito ka, may tao ka dito, no? Nandiyan ka, nakatayo ka dyan. This is the slab, and this is the beam. Of course, your loading must be transferred into something. Kasi syempre, di ba, hindi ka naman lumulutang eh. So dapat, since nakapatong ka sa slab, dapat yung slab may ita-transferan ng bigat mo, and eventually napupunta yun sa beam, and then yung beam, ita-transfer yung bigat mo to the columns, and then eventually to the foundation, and then finally to the soil. So now, we have two ways, like I said. That is one-way and two-way distribution. So ano bang pinagkaiba ng one-way tsaka two-way distribution? Ibig sabihin lang nun yung bending ng slab, no? So when we say one-way distribution kasi, usually ganito yung symbol niya, no? So nakaganyan. So pag nakakita ka ng framing plan na may gantong itsura, ibig sabihin, inuturing yung slab na yon as one-way distribution or one-way slab. So ngayon, kapag ganyan yung scenario, so magkakaroon ng gantong klaseng bending sa slab. So, hindi lang perfect yung drawing ko. Pero pag ganyan yung itsura ng bending niya, no? Isipin nyo meron kayong papel, tapos finold nyo into two, ganyan yung itsura ng bending. So, what will happen, or how does the loading distributes from the slab towards the beam? So, madali lang. Kapag one-way distribution, lahat ng loading mo mapupunta sa long span. Ibig sabihin, magkakaroon ka ng uniformly distributed load sa long span. So, ayan, ganyan. So ngayon, kung ganyan yung one-way distribution, kung lahat ng loading mo napupunta sa long span, ano napupunta sa short span? Essentially, wala. Kasi nga, lahat ng loading, long span. Long short span, wala. Does it mean that we don't have any loading in the short span? It doesn't mean that we don't have. Kasi, all of the materials has self-weight. So, may loading pa din yun, yung self-weight niya, sarili niyang weight. But essentially, the superimposed load will be transferred to the long span beams. So, yan po yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? So, how about, again this is for one-way slab or one-way distribution. O how about for two-way slab? So, for two-way slab, ganito yung itsura niya usually kapag sa framing plan, no? So, merong ganyan. So, kapag ganyan yung scenario or ganyan yung symbol, ibig sabihin, it transfer its loading to the long span as well as the short span. So, ibig sabihin, magkakaroon ng loading yung both. So, anong klaseng loading? So, meron tayong trapezoidal loading sa long span, while in the short span, we will be having triangular loading. O, parang pa ganyan, no? So, ganyan din. So, ganun din sa kabila, hindi ko na isusulat kasi magulo. But how about the appearance of the bending along two-way distribution or two-way slab? So, by the way, this is two-way slab, no? So, yung appearance niya is parang ganito. Magkakaroon ka ng bending pa ganito, and then magkakaroon ka ng bending pa ganito. Isipin nyo, nilagyan nyo, kanyari may papel pa rin kayo, no? Tapos naglagay kayo ng loading sa gitna. So, di ba magbe-bend yung slab or yung papel nyo in two direction? So, that is what we call two-way slab. So, para mas malinaw, para mas malaman natin on how do we determine the load distribution or one-way or two-way slab, ito yung scenario. So, for example, we have a framing system. This is a column, no? Itong dark shaded, tapos yung mga naka-broken line, that is a girder, tapos that is a beam. So, ngayon, ang sabi natin, if L over S is greater than 2, so that is one-way slab. Now, if L over S is less than or equal to 2, that is two-way slab. Ano nga ba yung L? Ano nga ba yung S? So basically, L represents the long span of a slab panel. So ano ba yung slab panel na pinag-uusapan natin? Yung slab panel class is the one that is bounded by a beam. So yun yung considered natin na slab panel. So for example, here in our framing system, as you can see, syempre alam natin na yung slab sinusuportahan siya ng beams. So ngayon, ito ay considered as one slab panel kasi may beam ka sa gitna eh. O yan. Yan ay considered as one slab panel. If that is one slab panel, ang sabi natin yung L tsaka S natin naka-based sa slab panel. So therefore, our long span natin will be right here and short span natin will be right here. So hindi po yun distance ng column to column. Some other students nalilito eh. Ang ginagawa nilang distance ng long span tsaka short span, column to column. That's not the case. Again, we will base our L over S or yung L natin tsaka S natin based on the slab panel. So if this is the case, our slab panel is right here, the long, and then ito ay yung ating short span. Okay? Now, again, if L over S is greater than 2, that's one-way slab. Kapag less than or equal to 2, that's two-way slab. In some other books, pinagbabaliktad nila, parang S over L. Kapag yan ay less than 2, that's one-way slab. Kapag, pag S over L is less than 5.5, sorry. That's one-way slab. Kapag greater than 0.5, that's two-way slab. So, ganun lang. But for me, stick tayo dito. L over S greater than 2, one-way slab. L over S less than 2, two-way slab. O, ngayon, let's start with our proper lecture. So, ito yung equivalent slab transferred to supporting beams. So, sabi dito, a deck or a slab that is supported such that it delivers its load to the supporting members in one direction is often referred to as one-way slab. Again, meron tayong ganitong symbol. Kapag nakakita kayo ng ganyang symbol, tina-transfer niya yung loading niya, all of the superimposed loading to the beam, no? Kung saan nandun yung long span. So, ang ating long span dito is the beam CD. Ngayon, ang ating short span is beam AC. But how do we distribute it? Kung nakita nyo kanina sa figure na dinrawing ko, siya ay uniformly distributed loading. When we say uniformly distributed load, rectangular loading po. Ayan, just like this one, what you can see in your screen. So ngayon, how do we determine the W? Ito, yung W na yan, or yung loading, or yung magnitude ng loading nyo. Madali lang. So yung Q mo, coming from the code, so basically, yan yung mga loading sa NSCP or ASCE na naka-KPA. Just multiply it by the tributary width. Ano ba yung tributary width? Tributary width is just half of the slab short span. Yung short span ng slab. So in our case, since edge slab panel to, ang tributary width lang natin is kalahati lang ng S. Kapag middle slab panel ito, so kalahati, dalawang kalahati, so magiging S. But in our case, that is S over 2. So again, Q coming from the code multiplied by tributary width. That is just how do we get the W. So how about in the beam along short span? So sabi natin, walang loading. But again, this is not true because all of the beams have self-weight in them. So hindi po yan magkakaroon ng no loading. This is just a representation for the loading considering superimposed loads. No? Hindi kasama yung self-weight when we say superimposed. Okay? So ngayon, paano naman kapag two-way slab? So if L over S is less than or equal to 2, then the load is assumed to be transferred to the supporting members in two direction. When this is the case, the slab is referred to as two-way slab. So ngayon, hindi na tayo rectangular. Magkakaroon na tayo ng trapezoidal, tsaka triangular. Ganun pa din, how do you determine W? Yung W po pa din is Q coming from the code multiplied by tributary width. Tributary width. Width na lang. Tributary width. So ngayon, in our case, ganun pa din yung tributary width natin is just S over 2 kasi this is an edge span slab. And then, ang pinagkaiba lang dito is magkakaroon ka na ng trapezoidal kasi may loading na eh. Kasi two direction na eh. Two-way na tayo. May loading na yung short span. Magkakaroon ka ng trapezoidal loading. So ngayon, ang kailangan mong kuhanin dito, since alam mo na yung W, kailangan mong kuhanin itong distance na to, kung saan nagkakaroon ng trapezoid o saan naputol yung trapezoid niya. How do we get that one? And based on the figure, ang sabi dito, 45 degrees. So kung 45 degrees yan, 45 degrees din ito. Ibig sabihin, dahil ito ay 90 degrees o 45 degrees ito, if this distance is s over 2, so malamang itong distance na to ay s over 2 din kasi pareha silang 45 degrees. Okay? So ngayon, again, itong distance na to, s over 2, itong distance na to, s over 2. Again, the magnitude of this one is just equal to w pa din. No? Okay? So again, this W is based on one span only, ha? One span. Kasi baka mamaya, kapag minultiply mo ng 2 yung tributary width, edi magkakaroon ka ng 2 span. And yung W kasi dito, based on one span lang. Or yung height ng single trapezoidal loading. Marami nagkakamali dyan. Don't worry, we have an example for that. Okay? So that is beam along short span. Okay, so let's try to answer problem number 1. So sabi dito, the floor system used in a school classroom consists of 100 mm reinforced stone concrete slab. Set A is 3 meters, B is equals to 9 meters. Determine the maximum shear and maximum moment of joist BF and side girder A, B, C, D, E. Disregard the self-weight of all of the members. So this is important, no? Sinabi niya disregard kasi wala naman siyang giniven kung anong klaseng material. So kaya mas maganda i-state nyo sa problem, no? So sabi disregard the self-weight of the members. But if the problem state the material used in the joist BF and then the side girder, so maganda. Pwede nating isama yung self-weight. But in our case, for this problem, hindi daw isasama. So ito ang ating framing plan. So yung joist meron tayo sa ilalim, yung mga kulay blue dyan, that is joist. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 joist. Tapos meron tayong side girder. By the way, the F is right here. Bakit ko nalaman? Kasi sabi niya, ang pinapahanap is joist BF. So malamang yung binayatan dito, katandem niya si F. Okay? So ngayon, para mas madali maintindihan, I draw here a framing plan that is in top view, no? So ngayon, lagyan natin siguro this is letter A, B, C, D, and then E. Tapos katandem ni B, C, F. Yan. And then let's write also the distances. So we have here 3 meters. 3 meters also here. 3 meters and then 3 meters. Ayan yung mga A natin, no? And then yung B natin is 9 meters. So this one is 9 meters. So pinapahanap sa atin is the maximum shear, tsaka maximum moment. So first thing we need to do is we need to determine whether the distribution is two-way or one-way. So ngayon, paano ba natin malalaman yun? Remember that is based on slab panel. So ngayon, yung slab panel natin nakadepende kung paano sinusuportahan yung slab. So kung meron tayong slab dito, sinusuportahan tayo ng A, itong A, B, F, tas kung ano man letter to. So ayan, kunyari, magkakaparehas naman sila. Ito na lang yung i-analyze natin. So if this is one slab panel, our long span will be represented by 9. Ang short span natin will be represented by 3 meters. So if that's the case, divide mo lang yung long span over short span. So that would be 9 meters over 3 meters. So this is 3. Definitely that is greater than 2. So therefore, the distribution here is one-way. No, one-way distribution, or should we call this one-way slab. So ngayon, kapag one-way slab yan, we all know, based on the lecture earlier, that the distribution will be rectangular, no? Wala na tayong trapezoidal kapag one-way. So rectangular. So ngayon, kailangan natin hatiin and determine the tributary width. So ayan yun. So hatiin natin. So kalahati neto, mapupunta dito sa BF, sorry. And then kalahati nito makukonta kay BF also. So ngayon, alamin na muna natin kung ano yung mga loading natin or yung Q. So ngayon, paano natin malalaman yon or yung W? So nandito sa ating statement. So sabi niya, ang floor system mo daw ginamit para sa isang school classroom. So ang school classroom class based on ASCE. So lagay natin dito. So, ang live load for Slool Classroom based on ASCE is 1.92 kPa. So, ano ba yung kPa? Kilonewton per square meter. So, ngayon, yan yung live load natin. And remember, that is our Q. O, kung Q yan, kailangan natin multiplyan yan ng tributary width. So, ano ba yung tributary width natin? So, ito lang po. Again, this is based on interior slab panel. Kung kapag interior yan, may tributary width tayo dito na 3/2. Tapos dito, 3/2 din. O, pag pinagsama mo yung dalawang 3/2, that is just equal to 3. So, we need to multiply this by, ayusin ko lang, 3 meters. So, kapag minultiply natin ng meters, makakancel yung meter dito. So, that would be, kuhanin ko lang yung calculator ko. 1.92 times 3, that would be 5.76. Kilonewton per meter na siya. So, by the way, class, if the table is not given, so dapat in-given yung 1.92. So, usually kasi naka-table to eh. No, kung hindi yung given, dapat given yung 1.92. In our case, di naman given, buti na lang kabisado ko. So, that is constant, no? Constant naman yan, no? 1.92 times tributary width. Okay? So, that is our live load. How about our dead load? Yung dead load natin, sabi sa problem, meron daw siyang 100 mm reinforced stone concrete slab. So, ngayon, in ASCE, ang reinforced stone concrete ay may unit weight na, o lagay natin dito slab. May unit weight na, hindi ka makakuha ng kPa dyan eh, kasi naka-unit weight. Lalo na pag mga material. Sabi niya kasi, konkreto daw. So, ang unit weight nun is 23.6 kilonewton per cubic meter. So, ngayon, kailangan mo yan multiplyan ng kasi naka-cubic meter, yung isa naka-meter squared, kaya minultiplyan lang natin ang tributary width. But for this one, we need to multiply it first by the thickness, which is 100 mm. Kapag kinonvert mo yon sa meter, magiging 0.1 meter. And then, after that, magiging kPa na. Makakancel yung tatlo, magiging 2. So, ayan, kaya tsaka mo pa lang siya mumultiplyan ng 3 meters. So, in our case, ilan kaya yan? 23.6 times 0.1 times 3. So, that would be 7.08. Tama ba? 7.08 kilonewton per meter. 7.08 kilonewton per meter. Yan yung weight natin, no? So, ngayon, para makuha mo yung total weight na kailangan mong i-load sa beam, o i-add mo lang yan. So, WT. So, by the way, meron pa ba? So, wala na, no? So, WT is just equal to 5.76 plus 7.08. So, that would be 12.84. So, 12.84 kilonewton per meter. So, I have my weight or the uniformly distributed load magnitude. So, pwede ko nang i-load yan sa aking beam. So, remember, ang sabi natin, beam BF. Tapos yan ay rectangular loading kasi one-way slab. So, ngayon, dito ko na lang lalagay. Kunyari, yan yung BF natin. So, lagyan natin ng support, assuming that this is a simply supported beam. Ayan. Tapos, lagyan natin ng W. So, again, this is B. This is F. So, ngayon, ang loading neto is 12.84 kilonewton per meter. Ano yung width niya or yung haba niya, no? So, basically, ang haba niya is based on haba dito, which is 9 meters. So, this is 9 meters. So, ngayon, ang pinapahanap sa atin is Vmax or maximum shear. So, we all know that we do have here a reaction. Tama ba? So, ano ba yung reaction natin dyan? R is just equal to WL over 2. So, ito din. R WL over 2. So, ngayon, anong value niyan? So, burahin ko muna ito. So, yung R natin, by the way, bakit nga ba WL over 2? So, that is just the total loading multiplied by, total loading divided by 2. Paano natin makukuha yung total loading? So, uniform load times the distance para maging kilonewton, divide mo ng 2 para makuha mo yung reaction. Bakit ganon? Kasi symmetric yung loading, symmetric yung beam. So, therefore, we can get the reaction in the edge using that formula. So, that is 12.84 multiplied by 9 all over 2. So, that is ilan? That is 57.78. Kilonewton na lang. Okay? So, kasi na-multiply na yung meter. So, yun yung pala yung value nito. 57.78. Tapos ito, 57.78. Okay, so after that, hopefully you do know already the appearance of the shear diagram and the moment diagram of a simply supported beam subjected to uniform loading all throughout. So, para recall ko lang, no? So, yung itsura ng shear diagram niyan is just like this. Di straight. Ayusin ko lang. So, ganyan yung itsura, yung shear diagram, no? While the moment diagram is like this. No? So, ngayon, kung mapapansin nyo, ito is just the reaction or WL over 2. Reaction lang po yan. So, hopefully, napag-aralan nyo na yan sa inyong deformable bodies on how do we get the shear and moment diagram. So, ngayon, ang maximum moment, again, always occur at zero shear. So, ito yung zero shear, ito yung maximum moment. So, yung maximum moment natin for a simply supported beam, ang formula niyan is WL squared over 8. So, by the way, this is L over 2. Kalahati lang yan. This is L over 2. So, ito ang Vmax natin. Also, coincided our reaction. So, ibig sabihin pala, ang value ng maximum shear natin is just equivalent to 57.78 kilonewton. So, that is already our answer. So, how about the value of our moment? So, again, the formula is WL squared over 8 or just the area of this shear diagram. No? So, pag kinuha mo yung area niyan, ito lang makukuha mo. So, ngayon, Mmax is ano yung W natin? That is, I forgot, 12.84. W, ang L natin is 9 squared over 8. So, ano kaya yung Mmax natin? So, ang nakuha ko is 130.005. Tama ba? Oo, tama. 100 kilonewton meter. So, therefore, this is our answer. Okay? So, that is our answer for the first statement. So, for the second statement, dun naman tayo sa side girder ABCDE. So, ngayon, i-drawing ko lang muna. Siguro dito na lang. Medyo abaan natin, no? Ay, sorry. So, ganun pa din. Gawin nating simply supported para mas madali yung analysis. And based on the figure, it looks like a simply supported beam. Ayan, hinati ko na. So, this is 3 meters. 3 meters. 3 meters. And then, another 3 meters. So, ngayon, take a look at this figure. So, itong figure na to, so as you can see, the tributary width for beam BF is just like this beam. Oh, parehas lang sila ng tributary width. Itong beam na to is parehas dito, parehas dito. So, ngayon, yung mga interior joist natin is pare-parehas lang ng tributary width. So therefore, pare-parehas lang sila ng uniform loading. And therefore, pare-parehas lang siya ng reaction. And based on the figure alone, we all know that the beam or the joist is connected to the side girder. Connected po yan ha. So ibig sabihin, binubuhat siya. Siyempre, sino magbubuhat yan? Wala namang column dyan. Ibig sabihin, binubuhat ni joist ito, binubuhat ito netong side girder na to. So kapag binubuhat yan, whatever the reaction right here should be reflected to joist ABCDE. So ngayon, ito yung joist ABCD or the side girder ABCDE natin. So A, B, C, D, E. Dahil binubuhat niya si joist BF, so dapat meron kang concentrated loading dito. Ano yung value niyan? That is the reaction of BF. Well, meron ka din dito of course kasi binubuhat din yan. So ano ba yung reaction ni BF? So that is 57.78. So therefore, we have 57.78 here. Sorry, ayusin ko lang. Ito, 57. Ito, 57.78. So again, this is based on the reaction provided by the joist connected to the side girder. So again, ito ay connected to the side girder. So therefore, nagkakaroon sila ng mga weight. Okay? In the form of concentrated loading, of course. Ngayon, meron ba tayong uniform loading dito? Wala po. Bakit wala po? Kasi we all know that the distribution is one way. Ang sabi natin kapag one way, tapos disregarding the self-weight, we don't have any loading along short direction. So in this lab panel, ang short direction natin is ito. So therefore, wala tayong i-consider na uniformly distributed loading. Ngayon, meron pang isang scenario. So in some other books, nilalagay nila yung reaction ng joist na to. And some other books, hindi naman. But you can use either of the two. Pwede mong ilagay, pwedeng hindi. If you are just getting the value for the maximum shear and maximum moment. Actually, maximum moment lang kasi sa shear magkakaroon ng variation. So, kasi nga naman, if you take a look at this framing plan, so, kung connected, kung makikita mo sa framing plan, no? Ito kasi parang medyo malabo. Pero kung ganito yung itsura ng framing plan mo, in 3D, kung nandito nakakonect yung joist, no? So, kung mapapansin mo, mabubuhat pa rin siya ng joist, ng side girder ABCDE. So, in our case, siguro hindi na lang natin siya isasama kasi parang nabubuhat na siya ng column, no? So, hindi na lang natin isasama but the value for the maximum moment remains the same because ganun pa din, magma-minus lang naman yung dalawa based on sa pag-get mo ng reaction. Okay? So, ganun lang yon. So, in our case, hindi muna natin isasama but you can use or you can incorporate it. Anong gagawin mo? Kunyari, isasama natin. O kapag isasama natin, kakalatiin mo lang to. Bakit mo kakalatiin? Kasi yung tributary width niya is just kalahati na lang. O kung kalahati, so syempre ito magiging 1.5, ito magiging kalahati. So eventually, sa pagkuha mo ng reaction, magiging kalahati. So ngayon, ganun yon. Okay? It depends on the problem and it depends on the representation of the figure. Pag sa tingin mo, binubuhat ng side girder, yung joist, o incorporate mo yung loading. Kapag sa tingin mo hindi, o hindi. Ngayon, kapag multiple choice naman, probably isa lang yun nandun sa answer para hindi magkalituhan. No? So, ngayon, in our case, di muna natin isasali. Okay? Ganun pa din yung pinapahanap sa atin, Vmax, saka moment max. So, ang gagawin natin, first is we need to determine the reaction. Ayan, reaction. So, in our case, it's just the same, no? Symmetric yung beam, symmetric din yung loading. So, to get the reaction is just the total loading divided by 2. Kasi symmetric nga. So, ngayon, that is just equal to 57.78 times 3, divide mo sa 2. So, ilan kaya yan? $86.67. So, this one is 86.67 kilonewton. Okay? So, ito ay 86.67 kilonewton. Ito ay 86 kilonewton. Okay? So ngayon, kung 86.67 yan, if ito tip ko lang, if you have a simply supported beam, remember, simply supported, ibig sabihin, meron kang pin sa dulo, roller sa dulo. If that's the case, tapos, meron kang loading sa gitna, whatever the case, no? So, basta symmetric, no? Symmetric yung loading, the maximum shear will always be the value of the reaction. Ulitin ko if you have a simply supported beam, nasa dulo yung pin, nasa dulo yung roller. Tapos yung loading mo is symmetric. Your value for the maximum shear is just equivalent to the value of your reaction. Okay? So ngayon, in our case, if that's the case, parehas pumasok sa criteria natin symmetric yung beam, symmetric yung loading. So therefore, the value for the maximum shear in our case, that is 86.67 kilonewton. So this is now our answer for the reaction or the shear, maximum shear, considering side girder A, B, C, D, E. Ngayon, how about the moment? So yung moment, madali lang. So we all know that the maximum moment happens if the shear is 0. So in our case, pinoproject na natin na yung maximum shear natin or yung zero shear natin will happen at the center. Kasi tingnan mo, 86.67. Minusan mo ng 57.78, hindi pa rin mananaig. No? So, ibig sabihin, kung magkakaroon ka ng shear diagram, kunyari 86 ito. So, maminusan mo. Hindi pa rin nanaig. So, diretso ka pa ulit. So, ito, magiging 0 yan, negative yan. Tapos, pag ganon, and then eventually, bababa na naman, tapos pag ganon. So, ganyan magiging tsura ng shear diagram mo. So, as you can see, the maximum moment happens at the center. Okay, paano ko nalaman to? Ito ay based on reaction. Ito ay based on the loading. Hindi kaya, baba ulit. O, ganon-ganon lang. So, ngayon, if we all know that the maximum moment will occur at the midspan, pwede nating hatiin. Tapos, kuhanin na lang natin yung moment doon. So, kapag hinati ko, ganito mangyayari. So, lagay natin siguro yung reaction. So, we have here 86.67. Tapos, this is point A. Tapos, somewhere here is point B. This is point C. So, ngayon, meron tayo ditong concentrated loading na 57.78. So, this is 3 meters. This is also 3 meters. Ngayon, kapag kinat mo yan, class, kapag kinat mo, wait lang, burahin ko lang to this is point C. Kapag kinat mo, tapos kinonsider mo yung left side, the direction of your moment should be counterclockwise. No? Yan yun. M max. Or pwede mo rin tawaging MC. Doesn't matter. No? So, ngayon, paano mo makuha yan? E di mag-take ka ng moment dyan. Tapos, baka tanongin nyo, Sir, bakit hindi mo nilagay yung 57.78 na nakalocate sa point C? Kasi it doesn't have any distance. So, it doesn't reflect our value for the maximum moment if it doesn't have perpendicular distance kung saan ako nagtitake ng moment. And I will take my moment at point C. So, ngayon, hindi wala siyang bearing, no? So, ngayon, ang ginagawa ko dito, pwede ka mag-take ng moment, summation moment at point C equals 0, pwedeng ganon. But for me, ang ginagawa ko, yung method ko. So, ano yung method ko? Kapag opposite direction, positive. Kapag same direction, negative. So, in our case, that yung maximum moment natin to determine that, magmo-moment din tayo, but basically, mas madali. So, ano ba yung opposite direction? Diba? Ito, 86.67. That's opposite direction from point C. Or yung moment ko, M max. So, that is 86.67 multiplied by perpendicular distance, that is 6. So, that is positive since opposite direction. Kasi kung nandito ka, ikot nito, pa-clockwise, ito counterclockwise. So, opposite direction, positive. And then minus, kasi ito, same direction dun sa aking M max. So, that is 57.78 multiplied by the distance from point C, that is 3. So, ano kaya yung value natin for Mmax? So, ang nakukuha ko is 346.68 kilonewton meter. So, this is now your answer for the maximum moment for side girder ABCDE. Okay? Hopefully, you do understand. So, don't worry, we have another problem that is for two-way slab. That is for another video. No? Thank you for watching the first part of load distribution. See you on the next video.